strong CV and all these things. I have a good number of publications, but they really don't look into those numbers.
Like, beyond a cutoff, they don't look into the numbers. If
Yeah,
enough
so
numbers, that's all. That's minimum.
Yeah.
But here,
Exactly.
for every whether the main funding should go to this person or that person depends upon your index is 0.1 or 0.2.
Yeah.
That is.
So I mean, I just wanted to, in on contrast to that, specifically the German Research Foundation, which is called DFG, is very much open to curiosity-driven proposals, which majorly funds the German research. However, having said, the Marie Curie is very much point-wise.
Yeah.
So it looks into the factor how many papers you have, and although I have sent a very strong proposal, I will get a bad score because my research does not use the term innovations, interdisciplinary and all those things.
Yeah.
Because it looks into the term and tick, and then basically, but that doesn't happen in German Research Foundation. It goes to a peer review panel which has a specialist and gives you a critical opinion. You get the rebuttal and you get to do all these things and you get to do all this argument and then have the funding. So it's not that it's a very real value thing. Otherwise, in India, as I know that there is no rebuttal also. It's very much like Marie Curie thing.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. In Europe, you have both the things, as well as the Marie Curie thing, Horizon 2020.
And even in Marie Curie, I mean, they
In
look for
ERC
this,
as well, European Research Council as well.
they look for these words, but there are, I mean, even if you have these words, if the project is sub, I mean, it's not up to the quality, it would be rejected. I mean,
It will be rejected.
There's no funding towards a particular type of research.
It's true. It's true.
But here, I mean, both those systems are much better than just looking at your index and whether your topic is within a subtopic which some set of people, some funding organizations deem to be really good.
Yeah. So what I was trying to say that in Europe, at least we have, at least in the US as well, is NSF and all these things. So you have these things that there's qualitative judgment as well as this quantity where there's this point has been made or not. It's very quantized and in the other case it's very much like very broadly smeared away. So these both structure works together.
Yeah.
So in India there is something called NRF now coming up. I know that National Research Foundation. We have to see how it goes. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So we have time.
We have 5 minutes.
One question to Moumita. So in the Indian education system, I mean, there's a lot of biasness that works. That's what we have been discussing so far. So out of this biasness, which vital topics or subjects you think are extremely neglected in the current education system that is prevalent in India?
So as I was hearing from all of you, that you all focus that in India, mostly the focus is on the numbers. And I have my personal experience. Also, yesterday I was talking to Satyajit and I came to know a very interesting point that in the Indian system, suppose there is a defined syllabus and the student studies that and writes exam and passes. Suppose if you just give a twist in that syllabus or in that example and ask him or her, they cannot answer that. And it's out of syllabus, but actually it's not that. I mean, they have to just think, and if I mean, that part is missing. I mean, they don't have this thinking ability.
Right.
So I think that is a negative point. So
No, I'm saying which topics or subjects, like for example, philosophy, like we have seen the science kind of thing, but there are a lot of other aspects of human knowledge that is prevalent as education in the education structure, should be, I mean, that people who are willing to pursue that knowledge should be given an opportunity. So in India, current education system, which such subjects you think are always, get this biases of neglection from the student community?
yeah, I think in that case arts will be the one, because I do not think arts is any different from the science subjects. And I mean, everything is related, and we differentiate because we need expertise on some particular background. So we make it maybe physics, maths, in economics, this kind of differentiation, but there is no such differentiation like that. So I would say that the interdisciplinary approach, and suppose if somebody is doing maths, if he or she wants to do some art subject, they should be allowed to do that. Or if somebody is doing arts, maybe economics, if they want to do any want to have any understanding on physics, they should be allowed to do that. And there should not be any, I mean, when you are, suppose after 12, when you are taking some subjects, depending on your marks, final exam marks, you are categorized on certain streams. Whether, maybe you have interest in other fields, but you cannot do that. So I think that thing should not be there. So it should be much more liberal and open.
So you think the arts subjects, for example, because they don't have much of a market value in some sense or something?
Currently the thinking is like that they do not have the market value, but actually it's not like that. The advertising agency, if you see like that, it's not like that, it's based on arts. And there actually, if you see the technology, the computer, actually there also, if you try to understand the technology and how maybe you are making different connections and circuits, you are going to physics, from electronics to physics. So there actually is no segregation like that.
Yeah, but
so
specifically if you see Hollywood doing so interesting science and engineering for certain movies.
If you just see a movie,
right?
So what all things are behind that?
Yeah.
Is it only the movie, the actor? Is it the only one?
Because the
We just
science and
see
art
that.
has come and
Makeup
it's made away so
and
fantastically.
like makeup and direction, and then the research that how the set will be and everything. So it's all related. And if any of the things is not working, so it's not a great movie, right? So you cannot leave anything just like that. It should not be there.
There are sound engineers who came from Masters of Physics, then got Oscar in certain movies. I mean, they became sound engineers after physics. Then they changed their stream completely out of academia and went into working with movie directors and movies.
Yeah, actually, through where we would like to have that kind of, we would like to encourage that kind of thing, because when you have the curiosity, suppose you are starting with physics or whatever background, but if you are curious enough, you can link to your studies to any other field. Because these studies, whatever subject you are studying, these are just tools for you. You can use them to make something. It's not that if you are doing physics, that means you have to be in the core physics field. You can do anything. You can be, suppose, a farmer also, but you know physics and how to,
use them.
yes, how to get suppose better crops or all those things. You can use physics there. You have to be that much curious. So, I think.
The other day, actually, the great filmmaker Apurna Sen is from Kolkata as well. So she was saying that it's an old interview that at some point she wanted to make certain amount of animations in her movie film, and she was saying in India the animation, the science of animation, or the technology of animation hasn't become an art yet. So that we cannot reach that level of standard in the West, which has been already being opened up.
But I'll argue on that because if you see currently in many of the outside states, they have most of the technology-driven people from India.
Yeah, exactly.
So the thing is, we don't have the perspective where what actually we can do.
Exactly.
So people are doing good when they are outside. So because the people who are directing them, they have the perspective, a vision. We are lacking that.
Even the people who are directing or putting money does not want to put in money into, for example, animation. Does not want to put money into physics engine, which basically defines how animation things moves, etc. They just want to make an So this depends on where the money goes. Is determining. Especially in India, it's own productivity alone. I want to make.
Yeah, it's very much narrow.
Extremely narrow.
It's not the broad perspective, and because of that, I think we are facing the current job-related issues also.
The discussion has gone to a very nice discussion point. I just wanted to, because I just wanted to highlight and as well as ask a question, maybe if you allow me to do it. If you don't have to still ask. But Moumita has done a fantastic job, specifically she being in the Netherlands. The Netherlands is so artistic. It has this art everybody is so much interested and it has produced so many artists, so as well as the scientists. So she has been involved, you have been involved in writing proposals on studying scientific physics of art materials. You have written a proposal on that. So can you, so this is the connections basically which you are not mentioning, but I still wanted to ask, comment this and so that you can mention certain things. You don't need to talk about your proposals possibly, but whatever. So basically you could do that possibly in that country, where basically...
So like I have a broad background in applied physics, in electronics and mechanical engineering, and also material science, and a little bit of chemistry also. And so what I wanted to, I tried to understand that the pigments what are used in paintings, how that can be used to certain techniques to understand how old these paintings are and what is the mechanism of their deterioration. So I'm not from arts background like that, but I have the capability to do that, and I understand, I have written the proposal such a way that I can link arts and also my expertise. So I think, there is no, as I told before, that there is no segregation like that. So everything is interlinked. So you just have to think and you have to make the linking. So that's what I would like to say.
I want to make some comments, not comments. Actually, I'm studying MSc in some of the top Central University. That we are saying that we have to enjoy the course, we have to learn such a way that we will get the values. But the thing is, in my case, in a one semester, it will be around 4 or 5 months. Every Monday and Thursday we will have exam, internal exam. And if you didn't study, you will not pass. If you didn't pass, you have to study one more year. So we cannot